Good day, traders. Hoping that everybody's doing well today. Apologies for being late. Had some technical issues yet again. But yeah, let's see what our Tuesday has in store for us. How's my sound? Can you guys check my sound and let me know how it is so we can dive in? Perfect. Drop your pairs. Let's dive in. Morning, David. I don't know how the ECAD one ended, but I'll follow up with you guys so you guys can give me a shot on how everything worked out. Let's get on. Drop your pairs, guys. Which pairs do you guys want us to look at? I know gold is one of them, so let's take a look at gold. That's a nice tank, eh? Beautiful tank here. GJGU gold. Okay. One more pair and then we can hop in. Okay, gold on the daily, we can see it moving over to our area of interest, which would be the 17,66148 zone. We clearly missed this position here because it could have been a beautiful setup. But yeah, price never really got back into our zone. Yeah, gold took off crazy, and we missed it. Missed it. After we had this BOS over here, we're expecting price to basically get back into the zone, collect some orders and drop from there, but it just went directly from there, so we totally missed that one. So which would basically render the setup invalid, and we will see how we can catch gold today and see where we can pick up some. Yep, it never hit, so we'll see how it works from this level. And it got back into our zone. As you can see, we had this liquidity over here which was grabbed on gold, smashed through over here, but now you can see as it dropped, it left a whole lot of imbalances here, and we know that we will basically be taking advantage of that. And so basically from this state on, I'm just gonna try to look at it from a bigger time frame and take it to the 1 hour and see just how we can take advantage of this one. But we do need to find a bit of structure first before we consider getting in. Okay, don't forget to like, guys. Don't forget to like the stream so we can do more of these. Let's hop over to the 30 and see what's going on. Okay, so what we'll basically be doing now, we're going to be focusing on this area over here, understanding the fact that we could see price moving all up to close those imbalances all the way to the top. So just watch those, and with this area alone on the 30, it does look a bit appetizing. And then hopping over to the 15, we do see some stuff happening here. Okay, let's hop over back to the 13. So what we want to see now is price to basically go below this zone, and then once we do see price going below this zone, would wait for it to get back either at this level or this level over here, and then tank a bit more, targeting our daily entry here at the bottom. So for now, what we will do is mark our alert zone over here. Hopefully this will happen before the New York Open. So we are expecting something like this. Sorry, we should be expecting something like that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be this perfect, but you understand the idea, the gist of it all. So I did have an alert over there, and then I'll keep it as marked, and then we'll see just how it plays moving forward. Just mark it again. Awesome. And then GJ and GU. GJ, let's check GJ. Okay, GJ, our setup missed completely. Sorry about that. Wait, I think I'm a bit too quick for this, but okay, anyway. So this setup did not trigger yesterday, literally just turned right before. Still valid, so I'm still going to hold this bias, and like I said, would want to see price break this alert level over here, and then have our sell stops and wait for it to tank down from there. And it is closing all these imbalances that it created on its way down, which is similar to what gold is probably going to do. It'll gradually climb all the way back up, and then close off all these gaps, and then from there tank. So you'd also want to see a bit of structure on the way up as it keeps closing those gaps. You still want to see structure. You don't just want to dive in. YouTube is not receiving enough video. I don't know why it keeps doing this. If you guys have suggestions, please drop them on the comment section so I can have a seamless streaming videos for you guys. So this is still valid. Still want to see it potentially go up, trigger and drop to the bottom. Those that do want to take some risks, you could get an entry at this level over here, T off area over here, and of course targeting this zone here, and then tank from there. So you could get a long position in this area over here. Let me just put that over here. You could get a long position over here, and of course targeting these zones over here. This is based off what's happening here, because you could see holding, so expecting this to hold as well, and then push from the top. So this is a potential setup that you guys can take a look at. Let me just mark it again. And you'd want to probably get in on the lower time frames and get a tighter stop because of the time frame you're using. And remember, now your spreads are extremely important, so you also want to make sure that if you are going to take this type of setup, you do have proper spreads. And I mean, let's just take a look at that. That's a 6.7 pip spread stop loss, so you want to be careful there. And then let me just move this over here so it can be a bit clearer. There we go. So this is the type of setup that we are looking at on GJ. Let me just make it a bit bigger. There we go. Awesome. And then GCAD, GU. Can you look at something without the G? Let's look at RCAD. I had a loss yesterday on RCAD, and RCAD has been my favorite pair recently. We had some pretty impressive trades from it. Okay, we're still in a good position. We are not in any harmful zones or zones that are going to hurt us, so we can have some trades in the lower time frames. Okay, so on the hourly, okay, this was a loss. I'm going to move that. Awesome. So this was a loss. I'm gonna just mark it so I don't forget it. So guys, the reason why I do this is when you look at these setups from a bird's eye view. So for example, you look at something like this, then you can see how well the pair has been treating you. And if you can do that, then what that means now is every time you start your analysis every morning, pre-London, pre-New York, pre-Asia, you always look at the pairs that give you the best returns. And for me is the ORCAD. The one that gives me the worst is Euro USD. So that's why Euro USD is one of the last pairs that I look at. Usually I look at it when it's requested by you guys, but on my own I do not look at it. Okay. We could see a potential drop. Expecting this zone to hold. Expecting this zone to hold as well. So we do see a bit of structure happening. So what I'd want to see is price basically dropping below. Let me just move this actually. On the hourly, I'd want to see price dropping below the zone. And if it does drop below the zone, I would want to see something like that. And I'll probably take it from this order block and then drop all the way down. So there's also another pair that will have an alert on and wait for price to basically get into the 91628 zone. And once it does do that, then I can look at a potential sell using these zones over here. And let me just mark that. So this is just in case I don't post a setup, you guys would know what to expect. So it would look something similar to this. But remember now, this must first be validated. What that means now is you must first have price drop below the zone first. And once it does, then you can wait for it to come back here, come to you, collect that order and drop from that zone. And of course, remember, we don't use limits. We only use stops. And if you're using the Wushu toolbox, then hey, you have an advantage. Okay, so that's how we'll approach our CAD. And let's look at the last one. What else should we look at? Euro GBP is also another pair I do not like recently. It's been giving me some pretty bad setups. Like this one over here, completely went off. So it's another pair I'm not feeling at all. But I see now there's a potential zone that we can take it from. And it's been dropping. So if you want to take the long positions on this one, you could look at this zone over here. And this is on the daily, by the way. So if you are going to be waiting for this type of setup, let me just put it a bit far. So we'll just keep it here until price actually does get to that zone. And as you can see now, we do have some imbalances here. So we should expect them to be filled. And as they're getting filled, come into this order, drop from there. So let's see how that plays out. This is on the daily, so it could be a setup that happens in a couple of weeks. And then dropping into the hourly, we've got this zone here that's being created. So now we know that there's a ton of liquidity here at the bottom. So we should expect price to tank. Now where you want to take it from, that's where now we'd want to be careful, because we are in a range, of course. Let me remove this zone, this tee-off area and these price points, and just move this loss so I can see it in the future. There you go. So as you can see on the hourly, we have this zone that's been created. So there's a lot of liquidity at the bottom, and we can see this tank a bit from there. So I think with this one, I'll probably sell it now, or actually at this zone over here, which is where it is now. I would probably sell it, and of course targeting this liquidity. So you could find price basically from this zone, tanks, takes all the orders, goes back up, or just continues dropping. But this is a good tee-off area, and I am actually going to mark it. It's actually a very good tee-off area. Open image in new tab. Okay, there we go. So what I'll basically do is wait for price to get into the 50%. I wouldn't sell, I don't do market execution, so I'll wait for price to get up here, then I'll put a sell stop and then wait for it to be triggered, momentum, and of course using the Wushu toolbox, the Wushu way of exiting and managing trades, and wait for that to be managed accordingly. Okay, let's look at one more. Gold we looked at, EG, GCAD. There's so many fans of GBP pairs. Let's look at some indices and see what we have here. Okay. So now with indices, I was telling some of the students that are on the bootcamp, and by the way, the bootcamp is on Black Friday special, so you might want to check that out. But I was telling some of the guys that are on the bootcamps, okay, there's a neat zone to watch actually. I was telling some of the guys that when it comes to US 100 and US 30, the Dow Jones DR30 UR, it's always better to tackle them with a daily time frame and using key zones, of course, which I did share. Okay, so this is where we are. Include that low. Hop over to the hourly. We had this nice setup from there. And bear in mind, this is taken from the daily, so be careful of that. So this is a setup I'll probably be waiting for. So let's keep that in mind. And then looking at the hourly, I think the only reason I do not like trading indices on hourly or lower time frames is that they barely go back to their OBs. And look at that. Okay. Let's look at that. See if we can't get a sell. There we go. So on the lower time frame, this is what I'll be waiting for. And of course, dropping all the way down. So you always want to know where you are in each time frame. Because now you might have this setup, and if you just continue to look at the smaller time frames, you won't know where you are, and price would get into the daily key zone, and we all know how strong those zones are. So you want to be careful with that. Awesome. So this is where you are. At least we've got 3 setups on the free. Just like this DR30. I don't know who got this. Where is that setup? There's a setup that was done, was it a day or 2 ago? I'm not sure. Oh no, it was actually the DJI. Yeah, this is a beautiful setup for R. But I can see here on the DR30, there's something beautiful coming. These are setups I'm not gonna really share what I'm looking at, but those in the bootcamp know exactly what I'm looking at, and they understand my thought process when it comes to targeting these type of trades. So we'd have something similar to that, targeting the zone. Just delete that so it looks a bit neat. There we go. So there's a setup that you'd also want to look at. Awesome, guys. That's it for now. I will be dropping the premium ones, which is basically all these pairs, all the analysis and good setups that would probably form, and we'll take it from there. Happy trading, guys. Can I look at my least favorite pair for you? No problem. Let's go to Euro USD. Yeah, this is my worst pair. Let me actually drag it to the bottom while I'm at it. Usually these are set up in such a way that my top performing pairs are at the top and the worst at the bottom, but I think I pressed some, I clicked this the other day and it kind of scrambled everything. So yeah. Okay, so on the daily, this is what I was expecting from last week. the liquidity was taken. I mean, I wouldn't even trust my own analysis with this one. I think the last 4 setups I did, they were all losses. Yep. Because there was 1, 2, 3, actually last 3. Okay. But anyway, let's do that. Going to the 4 hour. Okay. Hop onto the 1 hour. Okay. Okay, so with this one, I'll probably look at this area here and try to refine it to the unmitigated zones. My stream will end shortly. That's a bummer. It's a sign. I'm kidding. But yeah, so I would look at the zone. I would want to include these because now usually what I'd notice with this pair is that I'll usually get wicked out because of my tight stops, but I wouldn't trade a 20 pip stop loss position ever. So I'd look at this zone or look at this one over here. So it's up to you. Remember, this one is most likely going to get triggered. So look at something like that, and you could divide it into 2 or into 3, where you have this setup all the way down, and then you've got this setup all the way down. So this is a potential idea that you'd want to trade with the Euro USD. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Happy trading. Don't forget to like the stream. Check out the bootcamp. You'll be able to analyze 30 pairs in less than 20 minutes daily, right before the London, and then have your wushu set up everything for you and manage all the trades for you, so you can go and play some games or something. Okay, so that's it. Happy trading, guys. Remember, risk management is key. So yeah, cheers.